is an unrehearsed interview with United States Senator Chuck Grassley, speaking to you from New Hartford, Iowa. Participating in today's public affairs programs are VanSickle of Waverly Newspapers and Maureen Olsen of the Neola Gazette. The first question will come from Waverly's Eric.
Good afternoon, Senator. Earlier this week...
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, well, of course, it could have been better earlier in the week. But anyway, speaking of earlier in the week, Monmouth University reported in a poll that 53% of Americans want the Supreme Court vacancies filled, no matter when in somebody's presidency. And 69% say that Judge Garland should get a fair hearing, including 56% of Republicans. Also, 77% say that you're playing politics by refusing these hearings. Also, Robert Bork had a hearing and a vote, as did Anthony Kennedy, and he was confirmed in the last year of Ronald Reagan's presidency. So, given these numbers and facts, why will you not uphold your oath of office and do your job and give Judge Merrick a fair hearing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me answer the accusation about playing politics, because my reputation is such that I very seldom play politics. I'm considered a bipartisan senator. Let me give you two examples. One is a recent study by Georgetown University that studied all 100 senators, and I came out fifth out of 100 of being bipartisan. The second thing is, and I could go into a lot of different committee meetings, but just let me give you the committee I chair now. The Judiciary Committee has voted out 21 bills, and they've all come out on a bipartisan basis. And so that would prove that most of my activity is very much bipartisan. And then the other thing is we voted out, since he's been president, Obama has sent up about 325 judges, of which only 2 of them have been disapproved by the United States Senate. So then that's my answer to the fact that this is not a partisan move. This is something that we feel very strongly about. So then the answer to the first question is several senators over a 30-year period of time have stated very clearly that when you have a lame duck president, that you should not have the lame duck president do the appointment. So we have decided, not as some Republican scheme, but because it's been several senators over a 30-year period of time saying the same thing, we're going to let the people have a voice. And then since there's already a majority of the Senate said this isn't going to be taken up, then we, by not taking it up and not wasting the Senate's time, we are, in fact, going to spend our time on a lot of things that this country needs to get done, that we can have bipartisan agreements to do, like economic security and national security, and address the real problems of this nation that can actually get done, because we can do a lot of bipartisan things together, just like the opioid bill that came out of my committee that just passed with only one dissenting vote, or working on sentencing reform, which Senator Durbin, the lead Democrat, and I have been working on for a while. So we're going to move ahead with things that we can get done.
Okay. And our next question will come from Maureen.
Hello, Senator. Joni Ernst is Iowa's first woman senator and a fellow Republican. I know you've worked together on some issues. How do you think she's doing?
Oh, you know what? Let me take you back about 12 months when I was asked the same question at my town meetings when they kind of implied, would I be glad to help her? Well, of course I'd be glad to help her. But I told my town meetings in the first 2 months that she was a United States Senator, that she's a self-starter, she's very smart, she doesn't need any help, and she's getting along excellent, and I can tell you that I have a very good working relationship with her.
Thank you.
Okay, and Eric, do you have another question for Senator Grassley?
Yes, after the Brussels bombings the other day, the presidential candidates for both parties sounded off on their quote-unquote solutions to handle the Islamic State. Mr. Trump reiterated his ban on Muslims entering the country, as well as his border wall idea, while Senator Cruz said that law enforcement must surveil and secure Muslim neighborhoods to keep them from being radicalized. Former Secretary Clinton said that those ideas most likely will not work, and she said the focus should be more on making sure the internet doesn't radicalize American Muslims, and also work on intelligence to solve the problem. Now, how would you suggest that we handle this situation with terrorism from the Islamic State, other than blaming the president?
Yeah. Well, I would have to say this, that will somebody put their phone on mute? Anyway, I would have to say, considering the statistic, that we've had 95 interventions by the FBI or other law enforcement officials to stop either help for ISIS or doing damage within this country, that I would have to say that our FBI and New York police, as an example, that do a very good job. Also, some in the intelligence community, that we need to keep up doing what we're doing. But you can't rely entirely on just law enforcement. You have to rely upon individual Americans cooperating with the police and reporting things and looking out for their own safety, as well as just depending on government, because government can't guarantee 100% safety for any American, even though it's going to try to do that. So the bottom line of it is that we need to continue to do what we're doing. But I would say, if there's any government policy that follows what you call political correctness and put political correctness above national security, then that's the wrong thing for our government to do.
Okay, and it looks like we have time for one more quick question. Maureen, do you have another question for Senator Grassley?
Yes, I do. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and there's quite a few more in my family. Could you explain to me how the Medicare Diabetes Prevention Act could help people like us?
Well, yes, it would be to orient everything in government towards information available to help people through wellness programs to be as careful as they can, and to make sure that we get out all the information we can on diabetes, and we also get people to go to doctors to make sure that they are diagnosed early on, because early intervention is very, very important.
Okay. Well, thank you, Eric and Maureen, for participating in today's Public Affairs program. This has been Senator Chuck Grassley reporting to the people of Iowa.